memorandum dated July 31, 2026, attributed to ODNI official Aaron Lukas, has been circulating among researchers, congressional staff, and attorneys who represent classified program employees. Its reported effect is narrow, procedural, and potentially significant. It directs elements of the intelligence community to stand up sanctioned channels for reporting unidentified anomalous phenomena information and to treat prior non-disclosure obligations as no bar to using them. A caution before anything else. As of this recording, ODNI has not publicly published the memorandum in full, and its authenticity and complete text have not been independently confirmed. What follows is a forensic reading of the document as reported and of the legal architecture it would slot into. 3 operative elements are described consistently across accounts. First, each covered element is to identify or establish a route by which personnel, including contractors, can report UAP-related information to the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office and to the congressionally associated body referred to as the Pursue Task Force. Second, prior non-disclosure agreements are not to be invoked to prevent such reporting, and personnel are not to face reprisal for it. Third, a compliance timeline of roughly 30 days for elements to report their implementation approach back up the chain. Note the verbs identify, report, do not obstruct. This is a plumbing order, not a declassification order. Here is where most coverage goes wrong. A non-disclosure waiver for reporting to an authorized government recipient is not a license to speak publicly. Classification survives intact. So does the Espionage Act, Title 18, Section 793. So do the restricted data provisions of the Atomic Energy Act, the statute repeatedly cited by attorneys as the hardest wall around legacy programs. So does the Standard Form 312 obligation, and any special access program briefing agreement for every purpose other than the sanctioned channel. If the memo is genuine, it moves the door of the room. It does not open the building. The phrase authorized representative is doing enormous work, and it is the phrase most likely to be litigated. In existing practice, the protected recipients are a defined set: the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community, the Department of Defense Inspector General, ARO's Secure Reporting Mechanism, and the Congressional Intelligence and Armed Services Committees through appropriately cleared staff. Cleared private counsel has historically been a contested category. Attorneys for David Grush spent months negotiating what he could tell his own lawyer. If the memorandum does not explicitly name cleared outside counsel as an authorized recipient, the practical bottleneck of the last 3 years remains exactly where it was. The memo's authority is not invented, it is assembled. Presidential Policy Directive 19, signed in 2012, barred retaliation against intelligence employees for protected disclosures. Title 50, Section 3234, codified much of it. The Military Whistleblower Protection Act, Title 10, Section 1034, covers uniformed personnel. Title 41, Section 4712, covers federal contractors. Most directly, Section 1673 of the Fiscal Year 2023 National Defense Authorization Act created ARO's secure reporting mechanism and provided in substance that a non-disclosure agreement could not lawfully be used to prevent reporting UAP information to it. That was law in December 2022. 4 years later, an executive memorandum is telling agencies to actually operationalize it. The pressure did not come from nowhere. The Schumer-Rounds UAP Disclosure Act of 2023 proposed a review board with eminent domain authority over recovered materials. It was gutted in conference. What survived in the FY 2024 NDAA was a records collection at the National Archives and Section 1687, which prohibits spending federal funds on UAP programs concealed from Congress and AARO. Then came the hearings: July 2023, House Oversight; November 2024, September 2025, when witnesses, including Dylan Borland and Jeffrey Nuzzatelli, testified about surveillance and intimidation. Members from Anna Paulina Luna to Eric Burleson to Tim Burchett kept returning to one complaint. Witnesses had nowhere lawful to go. That complaint reached its loudest expression at the Capitol Hill Disclosure Forum held in June 2026, a member-hosted proceeding rather than a formal committee hearing, meaning testimony carried no subpoena weight and no perjury exposure. According to accounts from attendees, the recurring theme was not new sightings. It was legal paralysis. Individuals allegedly willing to testify but unable to identify a channel their agency's security office would recognize as lawful. A memorandum issued roughly 6 weeks later, directing agencies to name that channel within 30 days, is difficult to read as coincidental. Causation is inference here, but the sequencing is tight, and it is documented. The reported confirmation of a UAP governance board raises the sharpest structural question. A coordinating body sitting above AARO and the task force can do one of two things. It can deconflict, resolving jurisdiction, standardizing intake, ensuring a report to one office reaches the others. Or it can gatekeep. Any coordination layer with authority over what moves upward is also a layer capable of slowing what moves upward. Which function dominates will depend on details that have not been made public: the board's charter, its membership, whether it includes inspectors general, and whether Congress receives its records. Until those are known, judgment should be reserved. So what happens when the 30 days expire? On the reported text, agencies owe an implementation report. That is the accountability mechanism, and it is a reporting requirement, not a sanction. No fine, no suspension of authority, no specified consequence for an element that files a plan and quietly does nothing. Real leverage sits elsewhere: the FY 2024 funding prohibition, the Inspector General complaint process, and the appropriations cycle. A memorandum can direct, only Congress can defund. Watch for 3 things: whether any element publishes its channel, whether the implementation reports reach the oversight committees, and whether a single witness uses it. Assembled end-to-end, the pathway now looks like this. A cleared employee reports through a named internal channel. That report reaches AARO and the task force. The governance board coordinates. The oversight committees receive it. Somewhere far downstream, a declassification review may produce a public record. Every link in that chain, except the last one, is now, at least on paper, specified. That is genuine progress, and it is also the narrowest possible definition of progress. Nothing in this memorandum tells the public anything. It tells insiders where to walk. Whether anyone walks is the only test that matters.